Gentlewoman yields back her time. Mr. Frost recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So GAO investigated several national security issues at the Department of Defense and made important information sharing and operational efficiency recommendations to the department. The Pentagon frequently conducts simulations of conflicts or scenarios, so-called war games, to play at the dynamics of potential conflicts across the entire world. These exercises can yield insights that feed future strategies and policies for evaluating potential threats and adversaries. Simulations inform DOD's decision about warfare concepts, capabilities, and plans, and each branch hosts their own war games as well as participating in simulations as well. So, Mr. Dodaro, what would GAO recommend that the Department of Defense do differently to make sure that these exercises have a greater benefit to national security?
Yes, the department established a central repository in 2015 to collect all this information to help make the future plans more effective and to also then learn from the results and share the results across the department. But it's very fragmented. Nobody's in charge. So we recommend you put somebody in charge of the program to lead it over time to make it more effective, and that you have better better reporting of information into a central database that would be complete and reliable and allow more effective treatment. The department agreed with our recommendation and has commissioned a study to figure out how best to do this. You know, the department, as you mentioned, when we were charged with looking at overlap, duplication, fragmentation, DOD's kind of like the poster child for this area because they're so large and decentralized. And so there's a lot of opportunities. And it's because they're committed to their mission, but everybody's enthusiastic and they start off in launching, try to improve these areas in good faith, but they don't have central management leadership as much as they need.
Yeah, I mean, on the topic of the duplication report, this subcommittee held a hearing on examining the root causes of DOD's financial statements and why they can't be audited. What does GAO suggest DOD do to help make sure that it works towards a successful audit?
Yes. First, I might say that they got a clean opinion this year for the Marine Corps for the first time, so I was encouraged by that. They have a good plan, but they need to fix the problems that their independent auditors identify more promptly. They're not really fixing them as much as possible. They also need to get the better control.
Why do you think they're not fixing it as fast?
Well, it's a matter of resources to them. I mean, there's a lot of benefits that they've received from this thing, yeah. And the auditors keep finding like hundreds of problems, so that the number keeps growing, but the percentage of them fixing them is stuck at around 20-some% of the corrective action. So they need to move faster. But most of the recommendations, Congressman Frost, deal with their financial systems. Their systems are not designed properly. They have a process now that they put in place to make sure that they're certified, that they meet all the requirements, and they're going to be auditable. You know, but that compliance with those requirements is lacking. And so we've recommended that they better stick with the guidelines they have in place to certify these systems, not only new ones under development, but existing systems. And so we're waiting for them to react to our recommendations there. They said they agreed, but we'll see what they do to implement it. But the system fixes are at the root cause of many of these corrective actions, and that's why you don't see greater progress.
Yeah. I mean, and the reasoning of resources, I don't know. I don't quite buy it, as we're nearing almost $1 trillion defense budget, what I would say is quite inflated. But last thing really quick, GAO also noted fragmentation in DOD research projects on service member fatigue. The report specifically mentions that the repeated use of wearable devices such as smartwatches and heart monitors to identify and mitigate the root causes of service member fatigue. DOD has conducted nearly 50 different studies on this. What did GAO recommend that DOD change when it comes to studying the fatigue of service members?
I'll ask Kathy Barrick to do. She's our expert in defense capabilities management.
Yeah, thank you. Service member fatigue is really a significant issue at DOD. by DOD's own studies of their service members, 2/3 are reporting getting 6 hours or 6 or few hours of sleep a night. So it's a readiness issue, it's a safety issue, it's a health issue. So there's a lot of research.
And a workplace issue.
And a workplace issue, exactly. There's a lot of research going on in the department, both monitoring service members' sleep, but also looking at things like environmental factors, how can we make, increase the quality of sleep, as well as the health impacts of sleep. We identified 130 research projects, and as you mentioned, 48 in particular were related to wearable technologies that track service members' sleep. These projects were very fragmented. Some of them were looking at the exact same technologies, the exact same models, and there was no coordination within the department to partner on some of this research. And as you can imagine, lots of different offices within DOD are doing this. We looked at cost information for 29 of these 48 projects. It was $25 million. DOD's planning on investing hundreds of millions, million more in this area. The Defense Health Agency, for example, is going to let a contract for $350 million to look at 6 wearable technologies. So there's a lot of opportunity for potential efficiencies. If DOD doesn't procure one of these technologies, it's tens of thousands in savings and potentially hundreds of millions.
Thank you so much. I yield back, and thank you to the chair for allowing the overage.
Gentleman yields back his time. Thank you very much. The gentlewoman, Ms. Tlaib, is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you so much for being here. One of the areas, I know there's a lot of duplication in regards